We're here for day 2 at Morton Arboretum to talk to you about the second step of the engineering design process. We had Ask yesterday, and today is Imagine. Now, Imagine means it's time to brainstorm. We're going to come up with some ideas to answer some of the questions that we came up with yesterday, or to come up with ideas on what we want to make. So, we want to think about what are some solutions to the problem that we are introduced to, and then it's time to maybe work with other people, and we have to do our research. So here at Morton Arboretum, there's signs all over the place that talk about some research. So I'm actually sitting on top of what used to be a second-story wall at Morton Arboretum. Now, they had to do a lot of planning to build out the barn that used to be here almost 200 years ago. And if you look, having just a piece of the wall means that they had to think about what materials were good, definitely had to be a solid so it keeps its shape. And they also had to think about, what do we want to last a long time? So, what I want you to do is, I want you to take a chance to think, what makes this wall so good? And that is part of the research that you do when you're trying to imagine solutions to your own problems. You have to put a lot of time into planning for something that you want to create. So, if you look around me, I'm surrounded by a bunch of structures that took a lot of time to imagine and plan. And so part of that imagining process is knowing what people have interest in. If you see the arches around me, this is normally where plants can grow up and down them. So you have to imagine, all right, what plants would be good for that? You might have to do some research, look around, see what kind of plants vine to know what's appropriate to plant inside these boxes. So you have to do those things. When we think about imagining in science, we do have to think about the properties that are a part of whatever we're going to create. And we also have to think about it with STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Now, Morton Arboretum brought in an artist to create all the sculptures about trolls that you see in the background of our videos, and you can also explore them throughout the entire grounds. Now, the sculpture wanted to think of something that was environmentally friendly. So he had to think about those observable properties of the materials. And the material he chose was wood. If we watch wood over time, we get to see it break down really fast. That means it's good for the environment. So when Morton Arboretum is done with their sculptures, it doesn't just go into a landfill, it doesn't go in someone's yard, it can actually decompose. And actually right now, there's probably bugs living all inside this wood sculpture and already using it in a natural way. If you remember, liquids take the shape of whatever container they're in. So when they planned out this pond area, they had to think what was going to keep all the liquid in there. It can't have any holes. It can't be absorbed into the ground. So they had to think about what can we build this out of. So part of that has to do with the Imagine process. They looked out and saw what helps ponds keep their water. They looked at what helps pools keep their water, and they had to think about what were some solutions to that problem based off of stuff that they've looked up, stuff that they've read about, and ideas that they have that might be new. It takes a lot to imagine a solution to a problem. So I want to pose a problem to you. Let's pretend like we are looking for something to add to your backyard to make it more fun. It could be anything. What do you think you might want to add? What's it going to be made out of? I want you to think of 3 ideas that you might want to add to your background, and maybe think of a way you want to pitch that to your family.